When you survey a sample of a population, you use the results to make an inference or claim about the entire population. To get the best results, you want to ensure that you eliminate bias from the sampling technique. Bias is unintended influence on the results of a survey or experiment. There are several types of bias that may influence the results, including response bias, selection bias, non-response bias, and other types of bias. Response bias occurs when the question asked can influence the response given. Some examples of response bias are shown on the left. Do you really think that chocolate is good for you? That question comes with a negative connotation. It suggests that if you were to answer yes, then the person who's asking the question thinks something negative about you. Or, gym class is fun. What is your favorite class? That question is leading the person who's answering. What it's simply saying is that the person who is asking the question has shown their preference already. And they're using that preference to attempt to sway the other person. Both of those are perhaps unintended, but just more likely poorly designed questions. Selection bias occurs when entire groups are eliminated from the survey or experiment. An example of selection bias is when only girls in class are asked to participate in a survey when the study is about the entire class. Non-response bias occurs when people do not complete or return a survey. Non-response bias is very common when you're trying to do a large population or when you're trying to do an extremely large sample size. Other forms of bias can occur depending on the study or experiment. For example, if you are doing an experiment with several basketballs, you'll want to ensure that all of the balls have been inflated to the same level, have the same amount of wear, and are generally exactly the same. Otherwise, you may obtain biased results. When you are conducting a survey or doing an experiment, try your best to eliminate bias, and always consider its possible impact on the outcome of the experiment.